What exactly are the physical activity guidelines?
They're publications that were put together for scientists who are really interested in understanding what is the data that's been developed over the last few years that helped the advisory committee figure out what to recommend. And then there's a document that's meant for the general public.
Why is the government publishing the physical activity guidelines?
Well, this is the first federal physical activity guideline that's ever been produced. So this is the federal government wanting to make sure that we communicate to the public the importance of physical activity in keeping every American healthy. The best way to reduce your risk of many chronic diseases, to control your weight, to help keep you healthy and energetic is to get regular physical activity. But has never been a clear statement from the federal government about how much, who can do it, whether there are risks associated with it. So this is trying to really communicate clearly to the public in one voice about physical activity and the benefits of it.
Why are physical activity guidelines important, especially now?
I think it's important because people are asking all around the country, how much physical activity should I do? Is it important? You know, can I hook myself up to some machine that I saw advertised on late night TV and I don't really need to do exercise? So it is important now. I do think it will help the country as a whole. We have a crisis in healthcare funding in this country. We don't have enough resources over the next few decades to pay for all the healthcare at the current rate that we're going. And so we need to make sure that we're doing everything possible as a nation to keep our population healthy, not just because it'll help them fulfill their goals for themselves, but also because of the financial crunch facing the country in healthcare. So for many, many different reasons, it will help.
What are the physical activity goals recommended in the guidelines?
For adults, we should be aiming for a weekly goal, and the weekly goal is getting 2.5 hours of physical activity every single week. And what's different about this and some previous guidelines that have been produced, they used to say you had to do a certain number of minutes every day. This is in some cases easier for Americans to follow because you can say, you know, if you've missed a few days, you can still catch up on the weekend. So it's a weekly goal. That's one very, very important thing. The second is that young people need more physical activity. So the recommendation for people up to about age 18 is that they get an hour of moderate or vigorous physical activity every single day. So for kids, an hour a day. For adults, 2.5 hours a week. And it should include, for both kids and adults, not just aerobic activity, but also activity that strengthens your bones and your joints.
How do you fit physical activity into your busy schedule?
It takes some effort to get physical activity. I do it really by making sure that if I don't have time during my busy work week, I make time on the weekends. And it's really a matter of getting it into my schedule. And that's, you know, I get up on Saturday morning, and if I've been traveling during the week and I haven't been able to get a good physical activity, I make sure that that's number one on my priority list for the weekend. It's important for everyone, even people who have disabilities, kids who are young. Everyone can get physical activity in their own way, and it will help their health.
For more about the physical activity guidelines for Americans, visit the website www.health.gov/PA-guidelines. Also, for more interviews and details about the physical activity guidelines, tune in to NIH Research Radio Podcast, episode 77 from February 6th. We kicked off a 3-part series on the guidelines.